I'm not going to talk about AI, but I will talk about something that will provide funds for AI and all types of other development, because I came from the ordinary media industry, and what baffled me when I came into the scientific world was how few sites that does publish or use ads, both on desktop and mobile. The BMJ is one of the, I would say, better ones, but, and I do know that around, I can only speak for myself, but I know that there is resistance towards showing ads, and it's not something which is happily welcomed in most organizations, but it's, most of us had them on paper, and we need to move them online as more and more of us are moving online and dropping and shedding paper. And there are, hopefully today I can give you an example of how it has been done rather successful, and some pointers in how to simplify this, because it's a bewildering topic, and as soon as you speak to a number of people, they will talk to you about all the opportunities and all the tech and all the services and everything you need to go into. So, but I just put on this slide here because this is the main thing a lot of us are fighting against. This was pointed out by somebody at least 20 years ago, and a number of us are still going through that transition. I can share with you, will not share with you exact figures, but I can share with you that paper ad revenue has still yet to fall significantly for Tidsskriftet, the Journal of the Norwegian Medical Association, which is, by the way, the very, very tiny equivalent to the BMJ in Norway. But we know at some point in the future we will get there, and that's why we're happy to have started the developing the digital side of this. Just some quick stats. Norway is, by the way, tiny. It's half of London. We're 5 million people. But still, we're old publication. We're peer-reviewed, PubMed indexed, open access, CUP member, whatever. We don't only publish science, we do also, like membership organization, publish debate and feature articles and membership news. So it's a complex publishing situation because you don't not only publish scientific articles. Yeah, we have about 40,000 members. Traffic. We are in the lucky position that we started that early, and we have about 11 online. And in January 2000, we started publishing everything online. So we have a very long tail, and we have a very good position with Google, but still it's scary to be dependent on that traffic. I just wanted to give you that brief insight into our channels and how we work. So, on to the main topic. There's a number of challenges when you want to do advertising on scientific journals. The first one I met was that few journals have so, and we will absolutely not do like in the ordinary media, cut the article in two and insert an ad inside. At least that was a big no-no for our executive publisher, and from what I can find of examples around on it, I've yet to encounter anybody that does this. There is also a myriad of ad sizes, so what do you decide upon, and how do you sell them, and how do you keep this on a reasonably simple level? Where do you put the ads on desktop, and where do you put them on mobile? Especially on mobile, I mean, of course, the screen is much smaller. How do you charge for those formats? And do you sell them by yourself? Do you have in-house staff? Do you have an agency? Do you do networks? Do you do cooperations? If you have 15 journals, do you sell across them? How do you set this up? And of course, I don't have the answer for you, but I can tell you what we have done and how I tried to set up this when I came to Tidsskriftet, because there was no digital advertising when I came in 2016, and how some of the choices we made simplified this to a manageable level, I think. I include this slide, which is a classic in the industry. This is the online digital industry of all types of services and companies that will help you or sell for you or do auction of your ads or whatever. This is maintained by an American company. I can provide you with the source later, but it's staggering, and the complexity is. Somebody once told me that there's probably made more money in establishing and selling these types of companies that the world has yet to earn in online advertising itself, which is, I might have been true a couple of years ago, but it's a depressing statistic, because some of these companies are going to take a large cut out of your revenue, and that's one of the other challenges. So, our choices. Fortunately, in the Norwegian media industry, we agreed on a couple of standard formats. All websites in the media industry are 980 pixels wide to ensure that when a customer creates a banner, you can run that across several sites. And we also created a standard for mobile sites. And most sites follow those things. We had, at some point, we had sales inside, but we use an external agency. We only run ads that are sold by our agency. There are many reasons for that, but partly because we run pharmaceutical ads, which is strictly regulated in Norway. We have to check each ad and make sure they comply with the rules, because otherwise we can lose the ability to run those ads from the government. We also do have some advertisers for things like cars and insurance and governmental info campaigns, but we do know our website. I mean, obviously a lot of our readers are not doctors, but still we're allowed to run pharmaceutical ads. There will be other health personnel, there will be patients, and there will be relatives of patients and so forth. One key grip we've done is that we sell ads across both desktop and mobile in one go. Many publications I speak to have fallen into what I brutally call a trap, where you double your inventory. You sell, for example, top banner on desktop, and then you sell top banner on mobile in a different go. It gets much more complicated. Try to reduce your number of ad formats and inventories and sell what you have, and then you can split up and specialize later on. So here's Tidsskriftet, which means the journal. We capture that name and the address early on. We show here's the top banner on the desktop format, and here's the bottom banner on the desktop format. I'll just run through this briefly. We created on purpose a much lower bottom banner in order to not have people scroll further down and not just stop at the bottom once they see the bottom banner. All banners have one height. We started with letting people create different heights. That was a complexity we didn't need it. We use Google Ad Manager to book and serve ads. We have no ads inside, but we do have two so-called pop-up banners, which I created. They will appear as you scroll down as an overlay, and then about one full screen down, they will fade out again. And we can add those consecutively going down the page, but we try to keep them small and low in order not to irritate the readers. But I always have to remind people that the rest of the media industry is helping us by flooding their sites with advertisement. And there is much room here to, I think, to add some small advertisement formats, do it carefully, and we haven't got one single complaint when we went into our sites and slowly added on the formats. And I think that's a good statement of success. So this is the pop-up button. It pops up down there, and there's even a close button. And we have 2 of them for now. But that's the solution when you can't insert ads in the ordinary media industry, or you can't, but we choose not to. I have one more thing, like Steve Jobs in the end. But are there any questions to the ad stuff that I talked about now, to formats or whatever? Unfortunately, we've chosen not to share numbers with you, but I can tell you that there's a significant amount of money to be made, and I think there's money on the table for a number of journals with high traffic. I challenge you to also don't just address the desktop. If you need to sell, do it across desktop and mobile. Otherwise, you're losing out on a lot of traffic. And yeah.
Thanks for that. Very interesting. Just curious, you mentioned pharma being sort of one of your primary customers.
Sorry, could you repeat?
You mentioned pharma as being sort of one of your primary customers for your advertising,
yeah.
But you also mentioned you've got ads for other things like automotive and things that obviously are not directly related to what you publish.
Yeah.
Was there any resistance from the editorial teams for having content, advertising content that wasn't directly related to what you publish?
A little bit. And there's always... I've been in the media industry since 1992, and there's always been this tug-of-war thing. There's nobody, and I've always pointed out, nobody likes ads, but inside certain industries, yes, they're informative and less disruptive, but it does pay our salaries, and in industries that are challenged economically, like we all are, from various fronts, they're a necessity, and discussions are usually fairly short. So, but it's easier to, I can tell you inside this room, it's easier if we step up this game one step at a time. We are looking into putting ads into our newsletters, and we have some couple of other services where we also a job advertising board, where we now, after some discussions, introduced a top banner there too. So, yes.
Thanks. Thanks. You mentioned, well, since this conference is about AI, and you mentioned that 60% of your traffic comes from Google. What are you doing, or are you aware that AI will ruin that for you in a few months?
Very much so. We think this is a big threat for lots of publishers, especially those of us who are totally open access. We are with Diamond Open Access. I've repeatedly spoken about this, and it's always a challenge to be dependent on external distribution partners like Google or Facebook or whatever distributes traffic for you. And we are really worried about how, especially the new Google search, how that will hit us.
Yes.
And we are trying to research and to lobby in the Norwegian media industry these new LLMs and how much content they've grabbed.
Okay, so as a quick fix for you then, Google itself is aware, and everybody's complaining about this. Google Bard will stop or reduce traffic coming to your website because everybody will be doing searches on Google. So Google itself released Google Extended so that you add it to your site to stop Google from crawling your site using AI. So
how we're doing that?
Yes.
I'm not aware of it. It's possible. From what I understand, the ordinary Google search indexing is the same. They use the same.
No, it's not. No,
okay.
It's not. Google's AI is Bard, and you can stop Bard from crawling your site. That way, when anybody searches your site on Google, they will be pushed to your website rather than staying on Google to continue the search, which will then hopefully not reduce your traffic, 60% traffic. So it's
Thank
Google,
you for the tip. I'll look
so it's
into
Google
that
Extended.
when we...
It's called Google Extended.
Okay.
So you need to add it to your site and stop all that from happening.
We have found, though, that certain commonly shared training sets contain a lot of our older content. And that's going to be hard to pull out. But I have blocked OpenAI from indexing us. But we did it just a month ago.
Oh, yes. Yes. The same way.
Yeah,
Block Google Extended.
It's
the same thing,
yeah.
But it's different. OpenAI is different from Google Extended. Yeah. It's new. Block that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have, but there's so many others, and we, I think, would like a lot of the other people here in the room, we are hoping and praying that the litigation in the US and some of the international work will dampen the effect of this. But thank you for the tip. I'll explore it when I go home. Was there another question?
What he said.
Okay, right. Any further questions?
Is this your own platform where you are publishing the article, or is it some third party?
I'm coming to that. We have created our own Drupal-based platform, and we would like to share this platform with interested parties. It's a rather full-fledged scientific publishing platform with a list of the key features here. I won't go through it. I invite interested parties to go through Tidsskriftet.no and have a look for yourself. It will not be responsive. It will be 2 sizes, which in my head simplifies testing and development and lots of other things. It's XML based, but you can also write directly into it. And it comes along with the ad formats I've shown and the various features I've shown here. It's developed by us by a Norwegian agency, but we own the code. And the agency will of course strip out some of the design and some of the font, but change it minimally if anybody else is interested, and then of course the content. But please get in touch with me. We're selfish about this. We would like more people to come along on the platform, develop things that we can share, and for us to get a benefit out of it. Thank you.